up, guys? It's Talia. Today is Sunday, September 24th. Today's going to be a short update, but I'm going to have to kind of keep my eye on these two, this one and the other one, because he had his neuter appointment on Monday, and the other one isn't neutered yet. So ever since I brought him home, they've been fighting a lot more than they used to, than they did before. So until Sam's appointment on October 23rd, I'm gonna have to keep them. I have to kind of keep them separated, and I gotta keep my eye on them right now. I do try to let him out. I keep him locked up when I'm not at home, like off in a bedroom. But I'm gonna have to keep my eye on since Sam's over here now. So this is the one that doesn't make an appearance very often. This is the one that's a little bit more standoffish. You need to go back. Good boy. It's kind of like he's been a little bit more fending for himself, like he's been more of the instigator. But I think he also kind of sees me as like a protector, because every time something starts to go down, I pick him up and I put him off in the bedroom. Like, yeah. Sorry, I need to get comfortable here. But yeah, it should be a pretty quick update. Only really worked on a couple of things, and there's one new thing to show, but there's a story behind it. Well, there's a small story to it. So, first thing I have to show is I did continue to work on the Needleworker by Little House Needleworks. Sorry. So, I apologize if I hold things up a little bit weird. I don't get this chance very often, because he is a little bit more standoffish, and he does not like to be held very often. So, I basically finished the whole left half of it. The last time I showed this to you last week, I showed this to you last week, I had letters, all the letters done, basically. And I had done the darker on the end, and I had just started, I had done the darker brown on the N, the E, and the E, and I had put my stitch in on the D. And so I finished the darker on the bottom, on the D, the L, and this E here, and then did all the little motifs. I have decided that I'm not going to do those lines that run along the top and the bottom. One, because when I frame it, I don't want it to feel so enclosed. I'll show you what I mean. And number two, just because I just can't be bothered. Like on the original pattern, you see there's these two lines that run along the top and the bottom. To me, the way it's framed like that, one, it's framed a little close to the design for my taste, and two, it just makes the piece feel enclosed, and like it's cut off. I don't know. It's difficult to explain. But I do want it to be a little bit more. One, I'm not gonna, when I do finally get ready to get it framed, I'm not gonna frame it so close to the design. So it can be a little bit, so it can have some room to breathe, basically. So yeah, but I've just decided that I'm not gonna do those two lines along the top and the bottom. I have too many patterns that have a border, like just a straight stitch border thing, that I have to do as part of the design that cannot be omitted. And then if you just remember, like I had the lion and the lamb pattern, it had that double border around the outside, and that was kind of part of the design that I couldn't leave out. And then I'm working on a couple of Teresa Wenslers that have the solid line, double line border that you can't not do. And what else? Oh, the stained glass Ariel has the almost like the picture frame border. So yeah, if I can get out of doing a border, I'm gonna get out of doing a border. But yeah, that's not the only reason. Don't worry, that's not the only reason. The other part of it is that I just don't want it to feel so closed in. I did work on this Monday. Was it Monday? Maybe Monday and Tuesday. I don't remember. But I know that I only worked on one other thing during the week. No, you go back. Because if he gets too close, if Sam gets too close, Dean will swing first. He's become a little bit more, despite him losing his balls, he's become a little bit more defensive. The only other thing I worked on, don't worry about what he's doing. You stay right up here. You're good. Yeah, you're good. The only other thing I worked on was I pulled out a pattern that I don't really work on that often, which is Girl Thing Harp freebie design that I found online. The designer's name is Ann Logan. Found it on crossstitchpattern.net. You can find a lot of freebie designs on there, like not as in Russian website free, but as in just basic general little freebie designs, motifs and stuff that are legally free. So I didn't do a whole lot on her. The only thing that I did was this darker flesh tone from like right here all the way around, and then around her eye, and then this little spot right there. That's all I did. This Ada is not easy to work on. It's not fun to work on. I'm using a size 26 needle on this, and I still have trouble finding the holes. And this is Ada. I think this is one of those packs of Charles Craft or whatever that comes in like the little, it comes in like a little square package. It's like the 12 by 18 or whatever that is size. This is half of that. That's all I did. Kind of looks like an alien right now. But that's all I worked on this week. And I'm going to tell you why I didn't get much chance to stitch this week. If you guys remember, not this past week, but last week, I think it hit on the 11th, we had Hurricane Irma to deal with. So, that was on Monday. Well, both of the malls, a lot of the malls um, that we have stores in actually closed for the day because of the weather. And that included my mall and the local mall that the local store is in. So we had a kind of a mandatory day off on Monday, last Monday. And so me and the other guy, whose store I work in every Wednesday, so he can have a day off, I was at that store on Wednesday, the following Wednesday. I had taken my day off on Tuesday, my scheduled day off on Tuesday, and then the guy had his scheduled day off on Wednesday. So I'm at his store Wednesday, and the owner calls and is asking why I'm at that store. And I said, well, he's taking the day off. I had my day off yesterday because we already had him scheduled. So basically, the owner forbade us to take a day off this past week. So I ended up having to work. The other guy, he took a half a day off, but he's only taking a half a day off this coming week. And then his employee is going to work the other half. He only has one employee. And so I don't have to work at that store again this coming week. With the company I work for, we're allowed one day off per week, Sunday to Thursday. If weather or holiday implies that the mall is closed, even if a sudden closure is on a different day than our normal scheduled day, then that day is supposed to serve as our paid day off for the week. Fun, right? I already had my other employee scheduled for Wednesday, as if I were working over there. So I know I could tell them that I don't need them to work, but I'm too nice of a person. I know how hard they all work to make ends meet, which can sometimes be not good enough. So I don't want to take those hours away from them, especially the guy that works for me, the one that works from open to close. That's 11 whole hours that I would be taking away from him. And he had already had to call in a couple of hours already this paycheck. So I'm too nice. I'm just going to go ahead and let them work, and just try to make use of them whenever they're there. So I definitely, as you guys know, when there's other employees working, I don't get to stitch, which is what happened this past week. Monday I was there. I think I was alone Monday. So that's why I worked on needleworker. And then Tuesday I would have had the day off, but since I had to work and the other employees worked, I couldn't really get much stitching done until they left. Tuesday and Wednesday actually. After like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, something like that. So that's why, like the last couple hours of Tuesday and Wednesday is when I got to stitch. But I had finished what I did on needleworker on Monday. And so Tuesday and Wednesday I just pretty much just brought out the girl playing harp and tried to get a little bit done on her. I have one new watch, one new person. No, you're going to go away right now. It's a funny setup right now because okay, that was weird. That was really weird. One of the smoke detectors in the other rooms sounded like it was the one in this back bedroom down back here. Smoke detector just went off one time. Like the 3 beep. Because the smoke detectors we have is like beep 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 beep. It just went off one time. Like beep beep. I know you heard it. You had to have heard it. It just went off one time. There's nobody in that bedroom. And that's not the battery getting low beep either, because when the battery's getting low, it's just like a half a beep. Anyway, there's something, I truly believe that there's something hanging around this house. They don't make themselves known very often, but there's something hanging around this house. I don't know if it's something attached to me or if it's something that was attached to my daughter that decided to stay. Because she definitely had an ex-friend of hers, or a friend of hers that had gotten killed years ago. He was still attached to her, and would make himself known every once in a while. But it's just weird things like that right there. And then occasionally because my grandson's riding toys are still over here, and they're the kinds that make noise. Occasionally one of the riding toys will go off, and they're somewhat motion activated, but the riding toys aren't moving. Like, they literally they stay in place. They're kind of, there's no reason for me to move them from where they sit. So I don't know, it's just, there's something hanging around. Hell, it might be my ex-husband, I don't know, but there's something hanging around that just kind of likes to say hi every once in a while. That's why I don't really fear paranormal, unless anything like physically attacks me or something. I probably won't. I don't ever fear stuff like that, because it's in my nature. Are you comfortable? I don't get this too often, y'all. I don't get this very often. But what I was saying was earlier, this is kind of tricky because Sam, is usually the one that's all over me, as you guys know. And Dean is a little bit more standoffish most of the time. He's thoroughly made himself comfortable. Oh God, I didn't even show y'all what I was going to show y'all. I'm sorry this video is a little all over the place today. I did get the one thing in, and like I said in the beginning of the video, there is a story behind it. I did get my package in from China, but whereas I thought there were going to be 5 Q-snaps, there was only one. It was one. Can I talk about my Q-snaps? Like, it doesn't want me to talk about the Q-snaps for some reason. Just went off again. And if there was something going on in there, it would keep going off. But it's not. It's like it's just going off one time. But I just got the one Q-snap, the 1 8-inch Q-snap. I know. This is what a Q-snap from China looks like. It gives you instructions on the back on how to put it together. Um, I was not happy when I got my package and it was only one Q-snap in it. And after venting my frustration on Facebook, like one does these days, a couple people suggested that I contact Amazon because I said that the listing itself was confusing. Well, the listing itself was misleading because it had, in the bullet points, it had like 5 sizes. In the description, it also showed basically the exact same thing that was in the bullet points. It would say 5 sizes, and it listed all 5 sizes, and then it said one piece. But at the same time, there was no option to select a size. So that's why I was under the impression that it included all 5 sizes. And so, and because that's what got me really, is that there was no option to select what size you wanted. If it had been that, then yes, I would have known it would just been one size. There was nothing in the description saying specify size, please specify size. Maybe I'm gonna have to go and check that in a minute, because it may be a different style of smoke detector that actually might be the low battery thing. But I'm gonna have to see, because that's making me nervous. But there was no option to select a size, so that's why I was under the impression that it included all 5 sizes. So, but I actually did, in trying to find, I finally did like a couple days later, while trying to find a link to actually contact Amazon, because I didn't want to have to send it back all the way back to China, because I can still use it, but I wasn't thrilled, was less than thrilled with only receiving the one. And so while looking for a contact Amazon type of link, I did come across the contact the seller. So I did that. I contacted the seller and just said that, you know, their listing was a little misleading, and that I wasn't happy. I was under the impression their listing was misleading because it implied that all 5 sizes were included, and only receiving the one size, that I was not very happy with that. So they did respond back. I think I messaged them Thursday night, Thursday morning at work. And when I got home that night, I was going through my emails again. No, I was looking through my emails. Yeah, it was Thursday night. Sorry, and because I think I was looking for something else, or possibly see if they had responded yet, and they did. They had responded by Thursday night. Probably maybe about an hour before I was checking, and they said, yes, we can, in an effort to do good customer service, we can issue you a refund, and you wouldn't have to send the item back. So I responded, yes, I would like a refund. And that's all I said in my return email. The following morning, Friday morning, I just was curious again. I just happened to be checking my bank accounts and everything. Sorry. I happened to be checking my bank accounts and everything, and the refund was already processing in my account. So I will give them that. They were up on it on customer service, but I think maybe they might need to learn how to properly list something on Amazon from now on. And I can tell you, they don't have a lot of stuff in their shop. I can tell you, and this is through Amazon, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it was through Amazon. Orders. It was Correct Store. Correct as in you're right. That's right. Correct. Correct Store is the name of the seller. So, like I said, they don't have a lot of stuff in their shop, and they don't have a lot of stitchy stuff. Thank goodness. Trying to see. Just trying to get. Yeah, they don't have a lot of stuff in their store. There's that little talking hamster. That must be the one that's, I've seen an advertisement on Facebook for it. That's basically, it imitates whatever sound. Like if you put it in front of a baby or a toddler, and that child makes a noise, it'll imitate it. I love how they call a Slinky a toy stress relief magic metal rainbow spring toy. It's a Slinky. Then they have some headsets, Bluetooth wired headphones. Spacer, some type of side-swing spacer. And some kind of digital game board. Rumacube or Rumacub. Digital game board. Another talking hamster. Skeleton. Yeah, just different toys and stuff, basically. Toys and gaming stuff mostly. So you don't have to worry about that. Alright. So that's going to be it for me today. I know I said it was going to be a short update. I'm going to stop saying that it's going to be a short update, because this is just getting to be a hot mess. One new Flosstuber that I subscribed to, I haven't had a chance to go watch them recently. But I'm going to wait until I have a chance to actually watch her before I start commenting on her. I mean, not that I expect it's going to be bad, but I always like to be able to, if it's just one or two people, if it's just a couple people, I do like to kind of tell you a little bit about them. So I'm going to catch up on her this week, when I have the chance, because I just subscribed to her like at a time this past week when I didn't really have a chance to watch any Flosstube. So I'm going to do that, and I guess I'm trying to think if there's something else I need. See, it couldn't be the low battery thing because it hasn't gone off again. Something's in that bad bedroom. Something's hanging out back there. But I'm excited because we have a meetup tomorrow. Yes, I'm taking a day off this week. I have a meetup tomorrow down here in Centerville, so if you're in the area or if you're within driving distance, we will be at the Centerville Library in Centerville, Georgia, Warner Robins, Centerville, Warner Robins area, because I think there's another Centerville, Georgia somewhere. Um, but we will be at the Centerville Library. It's on Dunn Road. So the details, it's going to be from like 10 to 5. We'll be there. So, but information, you don't really need any information, but the information, if you forget, it's on the Georgia Cross Stitchers Facebook page. If you're in the Georgia area, you're always welcome to put in a request. We have meetups all over Georgia. A lot of the ones here in Centerville that we do at the Centerville Library do tend to be during the week, because I can't get to any of the ones that are on the weekends, which seem to be up in like Atlanta and Rome, and a lot of the other meetups. So you're bound to find a meetup that you can go to. So, but yeah, that's going to be it for me today, finally. And I hope you guys have a great week. Get lots of stitching in. Have a blessed week as always. And I will see you next week.